Welcome, everybody, to Uncle Jimmy Ray Saves the Day. Anchor.fm, if you ain't heard of it, number one, you need to get your ass out from up under that rock you've been living under. Number two, it offers you all these easy and great benefits like free listening, free podcasting. You know, they put your stuff out there on Apple, Google, Spotify. Spotify. Somebody needs to write that better. It's really easy to make money with them, too. All you need your mama, your cousin, a couple other people. You can make about $9.99 a month. Easy enough to pay off your student loans that you got, you know, because everybody's student loans about that cheap. So it's pretty much the best meal ticket you can ask for with starting a podcast or just getting your feet wet, you know, finding stuff you like to listen to. Anchor.fm, baby, listen in!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Friends, Facts, and Fiction. As always, this episode is made possible by our local convenience stores, the misappropriation of history, and you. And now to your hosts, Justin Hammonds, Grant Bramlett, and Drew Shellnut.
What's up? What's happening, world? This is Friends and Facts Fiction Podcast, episode 9, A Conquest-A-Door to Pizzaro. Today we're talking about Francisco Pizzaro.
I like pizza rolls.
Yeah, he's a foul person and a dumb person. Dumb pig farmer. Anyway, but I'm Justin Hammonds, and I'm looking at Drew Shellnut.
Hey, how you doing?
In one of the flyest fucking tracksuits I've seen this side of Mississippi.
Seriously, though.
If you don't know, if you're unaware, season 2 vibes is all going to be us rocking tracksuits and cool hats. It's been short sleeve button up mafia out here. Season. But Drew has on this black jumpsuit, tracksuit with tigers all over it and some type of floral pattern and shiny gold stripes down the side, like rays of the sun captured in gold pattern.
Super shiny.
Grant said he fucking scared some chick at the fucking gas station.
Awesome. Yeah, Grant went into the gas station, and this lady pulled up beside us and got out of her car and did a double take. The second take wasn't so good. She looked like she almost pooped her pants.
Yeah, man. You like you just hopped out of a Yakuza van or something.
You know, I got a couple Uzis on me, baby.
And I'm also looking at Grant Bramlett.
Oh, hello there.
Short sleeve button up style still with the llama shirt today.
The llama's on it today.
Yeah.
Llama
Interesting
action.
you chose a llama button up today.
I wonder if it's for a reason.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I think the llamas originated from Cusco, and we're not talking about that place.
Right.
So,
Cusco, yeah.
So yeah,
Cusco.
you failed.
Thanks, guys.
You ever think that you should find a new groove, man? You know?
You know,
Since
no
you're
touchy.
Nice and subtle.
Yeah.
Oh, God. We'll get to that reference later. Anyway, but yeah, man, we're back and we're still doing it. And thank y'all for listening. We love all y'all. And actually, Drew brought up a good point or a good insight earlier when we were going over the doc. We've got listeners in the UK, Argentina, France, Ireland, Puerto Rico, New Zealand, and Canada. And thank all of you listeners. And, tell your friends, listen to it. If you listen to it on iTunes, give us that 5-star. So we can get this train rolling a little faster. And if you want to support us, you can always go to anchor.fm.com/Friends, Facts, and Fiction. And you can throw us a little monies, because we need monies.
To circle back around on the 5-star rating thing, one, that'd be a very sweet thing to do. But two, apparently, we get popped to like the front of these
front
little
of
like
the line.
suggested playlists and podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you'd be helping promote these hot facts.
Yeah, exactly. So if you legit like it, it would
spread
be
the wealth.
really, really helpful for us. So
Definitely. And one more shout out to the homie Steve McThrill, who should probably just be a research assistant at this point.
that'd be great. Yeah.
Because Grant is going through hell every week trying to research this shit.
I will happily accept your resume,
Yeah,
Steve.
Grant and Drew are going through it. You know me, I'm just the cool guy that talks a lot. But he dropped me some hot fact checked checks on some shit we dropped in the Cortez episode. Apparently, like academics and professionals still like talk about the Dominican Republic and Haiti as Hispaniola. They still say it's Hispaniola, which is fucked up because Columbus called it that and it's like whatever, but like it's still a thing. And I think we were so frustrated. It's like that's not a thing. It's not a thing. There's no facts there, but it's still a fact. And also he mentioned the fact that descendants of Montezuma are still considered Spanish nobility.
Which is also fucked up.
Which is fucking wild, bro. But yeah, if you missed that Cortez episode, go back and listen. You know, because we mentioned again what we're doing in these next few episodes. Columbus to Cortez to Pizzaro is like a 30-year span of Spanish.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, it's really not that long.
Like,
No, it's not
kind
very
of,
long.
Like sort of on top of each other, if you will.
Yeah.
It's with timelines. It's just they just hit it fast and hard and like spread out over the regions of Central and South America.
And this sparked like Columbus really sparked slave trade of Africans, but like all of these Cortez and Pizarro help weaken the world enough for it to be even more prevalent. And then it gets into America.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We're going to cover all that coming up soon, but that's a lot of thick details that has us all in drinking benches right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, man, we're just out here living, doing the things and the stuff with the stuff and the things. You know what I'm saying? I'm finally bartending, so that's cool. Stuff, man, things.
It's true.
So to keep this thing moving, we're going to get into the SODOW, Song of the Day, Song of the Day of the Week.
Yeah.
However you feel about doing it. And I think it's Tracksuit Shorty time.
Oh, snap.
I think it's Drew's turn today.
Hell yeah, I done got a new fucking fly-ass name. Tracksuit Shorty up in this bitch. So I'm going to open up the SODOW with a song by Genesis.
Okay. You're going 80s on us, huh?
Yeah, baby
Okay.
girl.
Girl school, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Brand
So,
new song.
Yeah, brand new song by Genesis called Land of Confusion.
Yeah, Land of Confusion. It matches. The 80s vibes, but still facts, bro. Like, that's the world we live in, bro. Like,
yeah, so this is the world we live in. These are the hands we're given. And essentially, the second part of that says, let's use them, these hands that we've been given in this world that we live in, so we can make it
worth
fighting for.
Yeah, he dropped some hot bars, bro. Not gonna lie.
And the music video, by the way, is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's done by Henson, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's my favorite video of all time.
Very much Jim Henson.
Henson's a beast, bro.
Yeah. They look so
Everything
weird.
he does. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great.
The weird, like, very caricature style shit is dope.
And then,
actually, what's his name? Lead singer, Phil Collins. His head alone went for $1.2 million.
That's crazy, bro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just the head alone.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's some good head.
Yeah.
There you go. There's that low hanging fruit.
Ooh, I had to get it.
There's that low hanging
I had to
fruit
sprinkle
just
it
for
in
you.
there, bro.
Oh, we're gonna slide up out of there.
Yeah, we're gonna slide up out of there.
You know. Hey.
All right.
Oh,
Anyway, but yeah, Henson's a beast, bro. Like his family, his whole family is just full of creative ideas and artworks and stuff. His son is a beast.
And
His
then
daughter, shout out to her.
the new Dark Crystal.
She definitely killed.
So good.
The Dark Crystal, the new one, I've watched it
the
3
series?
times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've watched
It's
it 3
awesome,
times, and I'm like awaiting the next one
Yeah,
Yeah.
with
it's amazing.
Truly
bro.
impressive.
bated
honestly.
breath. If
Because
you will.
they still use the animatronics, but also on top of the new CGI, it looks amazing. Bro.
yeah,
I mean,
it's
fucking
super
raw.
awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. Check that out if you have not. Netflix and chill. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and slide up in this Pizzaro, these hot facts, man.
Yes, sir.
Get you a little popcorn, get ready. You know what I'm saying? Do you? Slide in there.
Francisco Pizzaro.
You did a preemptive strike on slide up in there.
I love
I gotta say slide up in there, bro. You can't just preemptive strike it with the.
Oh, no, that
Anyway.
was good. I enjoyed that. So much so one more time.
Slide up
Francisco
in there.
Pizzaro was born in Trujillo, Spain, as the illegitimate son of infantry colonel Gonzalo Pizzaro and to a woman named Francisca Gonzalez, a woman of
So it's
poor
named
means.
after his mother, basically.
No. He's named after his father. Francisca Gonzalez is his mom.
His name is Francisco.
Uh-huh.
So it's,
That's a male name.
Male name.
I'm saying like the influence there.
Oh,
Came from his mom.
Yeah. First name from
Jesus
mom,
Christ.
last name from dad. Yeah, sure.
All right, I'm gonna let you talk, bro. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Go ahead. Drop the facts, bro.
Oh man, yeah. We actually don't really know when he was born. Sometime in the 1470s. A lot of historians think 1475. But little attention was also paid to his education, so he grew up illiterate and remained so his entire fucking life.
An illiterate pig farmer.
Yeah,
Annihilated a fucking whole kingdom. Anyway,
it's incredible. Yeah, but his father served in Navarra and in the Italian campaigns under Cordoba. His mother married late in life and had a son, Francisco Martin de Alcantara.
Alcantara.
Something like that,
Alcantara.
who was at the conquest of Peru with his half-brother, Francisco, from its inception. Though his father, Francisco, through his father, Francisco was a second cousin, once removed, of our old boy from last week, Hernan Cortez.
Oh yeah, he was his cousin.
Made them cousins. Yeah.
Yeah. Skipping forward quite a bit, on November 10th in 1509, Pizarro sailed from Spain to the New World with Alonso de Ojeda on an expedition to the Gulf of Urbana in Tierra Firme,
You art not never sail with a hater.
where he became a participant in Ojeda's failed colony. Now, real quick, Ojeda sailed over with Columbus on his second expedition to the quote-unquote Indies. Right? And then he later went with Amerigo Vespucci.
Oh,
Yeah, the homie who
yeah, with
the
America's
continents is named after.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
So
I like to pronounce it Amerigo Vest Vagina.
sounds good. That sounds good.
All right.
He set up Santa Cruz, which became just a hot fucking mess. See, after its establishment, he goes back to Spain to get more men and supplies, but apparently too many men and not enough supplies. So during this 15-month journey, which is way too long, which is normally like 9 months or so, but
Yeah.
they're running out of food, and they're all half-starved and crazed by the time they get there, and the natives were already pissed off on top of everything. So when they get there, they're trying to retake control of Santa Cruz, half-starved, crazed, and they were given like kind of the shitty version of a flintlock musket. Right? So it was like a wick. They called it a matchlock. But it was basically just a fucking
Jesus.
candle wick was just hanging off the side of the
Jesus
gun.
Christ, bro.
And so you had to light a match and then hope that the wick takes
catch, yeah.
and then ignites the gunpowder. So can you just imagine you're just like, don't let the wind. And then the Indians just come
It's like trying to light a cigarette in a fucking windstorm.
Right,
basically.
exactly, yeah, exactly.
You gotta get the right angle on them up. And God damn.
So Ojeda was actually imprisoned by how bad of a job he did. He eventually goes back to Spain and hired our pig farmer, Mr. Pizzaro.
Oh, no reedy, no righty, pig farmer.
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, all he could afford was like these 6 really sad, tiny
was he like
ships
the first policeman?
to get over.
Wow.
Pizzaro?
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right.
I went there.
We're going to slide up out of there, kids. All right.
All right.
So, yeah, 6 sad, tiny ships.
Yeah. So they get back over there. This is where Pizarro is left in charge, commanding, or at least trying, the remnants of this broken colony until he eventually just abandoned it with the survivors. He then sailed to Cartagena and joined the fleet of Martin Fernandez de Encisco in 1513. And it's something we talked about earlier, but I think it's just kind of crazy to remember that this is so close in time to where, like, Hernan Cortez is still doing his thing. He's really just getting ramped up at this point, you know?
Yeah.
And
Columbus was just, 20 years before that?
yeah. So, I mean, the guy
the
guy that hired him went on Columbus's second expedition over to the Americas,
Exactly.
you know? And so it's just absolutely crazy. The following year, Pedro Arias de Villa became the newly appointed governor of Castilla de Oro and succeeded Balboa, who Balboa was pretty close to Pizarro. But when the powers got changed up or whatever, Pizarro immediately jumped to Balboa's like proverbial ship, making Balboa super stoked about it, right? So
Super stoked about it?
Super stoked about it, yeah. During the next 5 years, Pizarro then became a close associate of de Valla, and the governor assigned him as repartimentio. I never knew how to pronounce that one. I've never been able to pronounce that one.
Repartimentio.
Which is basically a shepherd of cattle. And
Just a
then
fucking
also
cowboy,
natives.
basically.
Yeah, so he goes from being a pig farmer to a cattle
A repartimentio.
ranger, you know?
Yeah.
Which is funny. When de Valla decided to get rid of Balboa out of distrust, he instructed Pizarro to personally arrest him and bring him to stand trial. Balboa was beheaded in January of 1519. For his loyalty to de Valla, Pizarro was rewarded the position of mayor and magistrate of the then recently founded Panama City.
So this motherfucker went from a literate pig farmer to hopping on a ship to becoming a cattleman to just getting somebody killed, and now he's a mayor.
Exactly.
That's where that's his beginning.
That's how he gets to become
Fucking this dude.
leading expeditions.
See, it's the stroke of luck shit I talked about, bro.
Well, the first attempt to go into South America was actually by in 1522 by Pascal de Andagoya.
And that go.
Yeah. He was actually told by a few natives when he landed there that there was a land of gold. So essentially what happened with him happened with Cortez.
Yeah. It's like they promised us
Oh,
gold.
no.
Yeah.
There's gold over there.
Yeah, keep
No,
going.
not here. Not
Don't
here.
fuck
Not
with
here.
us. Keep going,
There's
bro.
gold over there. But they essentially said it was in the gold-rich territory of Viru, which was on the river called Piru, which was later bastardized as Peru.
Peru.
Right.
Wow. This is the reason they
Yeah.
got attacked, by the way. But yeah, go ahead.
So Pizarro was like, sweet. So he took his little priest with him, Hernando de Luque, and a soldier, Diego del Almagro. De Almagro will actually show up his stupid ass throughout the rest of our reading because he's a kunta bag. But he took those two dudes with 80 men and 40 horses.
Okay.
It was a very, very short expedition because Moff got shut down pretty quick because all of his dudes got killed everywhere they went.
Yeah, of course. Especially if you're not on a horse.
Yeah.
Yeah, 40 men just
tall
without a horse.
llamas.
Yeah.
You know?
They thought they were tall llamas.
You know, tall llamas.
Hashtag short sleeve button up llama
Hey,
shirt today.
yeah. But yeah, no, he didn't get any further than Colombia. He wanted to go further. He went down, got to about Colombia, and essentially everyone but a few of his crew were killed in every spot that he went. So he was just like, tuck the tail and leave.
Because they know the land, and they're just like wandering stupidly through the fucking land. And it's kind of like Revolutionary War shit, where the cats were just hiding out.
Which is funny because it's the second
Attack.
time. It's the second time he tucked his balls.
Yeah, because he's a bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just wild, bro.
I know it's crazy.
He just wants some cocoa leaves. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Quit chewing the cocoa leaves, bro.
So just 2 years later, after the wounds had been licked, Pizzaro, Almagro, and Luke started the arrangements for a second expedition with permission from Pedraez de Valle, the governor, who himself was preparing an expedition north to Nicaragua.
What's the dude that appointed Pizzaro
As mayor of Panama City, yeah. So they're asking him, it's like, hey, we did a really shitty job, but can we have more men and horses and boats?
Hey, you know what? Again? You know what? You helped me kill that one guy, so fuck it. Let's go.
That one guy.
Yeah, one guy you helped me kill. Let's go. Let's do it again.
And he apparently was really reluctant to permit him another expedition. But somehow, on March 10th of 1526, Pizarro left Panama with 2 ships, 160 men, and several horses.
Oh, stepping his game up.
Right, reaching as far as the Colombian San Juan River.
Those ships were packed full, though, man. 2 ships, 160 people.
I know, right?
Yeah.
God damn, bro.
So,
A stinky ride.
Yeah,
when they
that's
got
a lot.
there, he stayed behind with some of his men and sent Ruiz south for intel. Bartolome Ruiz, after crossing the equator, found and captured a raft under sail with natives from Tumbes. To everyone's surprise, these carried textiles, ceramic objects, and some pieces of gold, silver, and emeralds.
Ooh, emeralds, my favorite
Making
stone,
Ruiz's
actually.
findings in the central focus of the second expedition. Some natives were taken aboard Ruiz's ships and to serve as interpreters or slaves. And
essentially slaves.
yeah. They then set sail north for the San Juan River, arriving to find Pizarro and his men exhausted from the difficulties they had faced exploring the new territory. So Hobie Ruiz goes down and is like, oh shit, we found some peoples with this crap we're looking for. Let me go tell Pizarro. And he gets back up and he's fucked it up again. You know?
Because Pizarro's a fuck up, bro. He kept filling up, bro. That's his thing.
Yeah.
That's what all 3 of these cats that we've covered so far, Columbus, Cortez, and Pizarro,
Fell
up so hard.
I know, it's
bro.
crazy.
Like, to the point where they affected the entire world
Yeah.
to this day.
But soon after, Almagro sailed into the port laden with supplies and a reinforcement of at least 80 new recruits who had arrived at Panama from Spain. So Ruiz gets up there. Pizarro's and his men are all fucked up. Almagro comes over with some fresh meat, and so they're like, all right, let's go down south and let's, take these
we got
dudes
some
out.
fresh legs, but it's like the second wind. You know what I mean? Second screen.
They decided to sail back to the territory already explored by Ruiz, and after a difficult voyage due to strong winds and currents, reached Atacames, I think, on the Ecuadorian coast. Here, they found a large native population recently brought under Inca rule. Unfortunately for the conquistadors, the warlike spirit of the people they encountered seemed so defiant and dangerous in numbers that the Spanish decided not to enter that land. Pizarro and Almagro argued until the outcome was that Pizarro would stay at a safer place, the Isle of De Gallo, near the coast, while Almagro would return to Panama with Luke for more reinforcements. Pedro de los Rios is the new governor of Panama at this point. he heard of their recent failures and was reluctant to even consider their request for supplies. In addition, he ordered 2 ships commanded by Juan Tafur to be sent immediately with intention of bringing Pizarro and his crew back to Panama.
Yep.
So they fucked up so hard
shit.
that they're like, no, give me my ships back.
We're sending somebody to come pick you up, bro.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, hey, bro, I told you to drive my car, but you drunk.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
nah.
Yeah.
Give my keys back, bro.
So, as you could probably imagine, Pizarro had no intention of returning. And when Tafur arrived at the Isla de Gallo, Pizarro literally drew a line in the sand.
Yeah, he's the first one to do this cheesy ass movie shit in real life, bro. Pizarro did this shit in real life. Drew a line in the sand between Peru and the other. What's the other? You got it. Get the facts.
Oh, the Isla de Gallo?
Yeah.
Pizarro, it said, there lies Peru with its riches. Here, Panama and its poverty. Choose, each man, what best becomes a brave Castilian. For my part, I go to the south.
Mm.
Draw a line in the sand like fucking Clint Eastwood looking ass. Fuck is this shit? It's real. It's in real life, bro.
I know, it's so good.
Anyway, it's how dumb this motherfucker.
He and his men, the idiots that decided to stay back. Well, at the time, I would view them as idiots, but they got really fucking lucky. So.
Yeah, they definitely did.
True that. It's about 13 of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's only 13 dudes.
Out of what, 160, 100?
Yeah,
yeah.
It was crazy. They did go south. They finally reached the northwestern Peruvian Tumbes region. This is actually the first success the Spanish had hoped for. On subsequent days, 2 of Pizarro's men, Alonso de Molina and Pedro de Candia, on separate accounts reported back the riches of the land, including the decorations of silver and gold around the chiefs' houses, and how openly the men were received. The Spanish also saw for the first time the Peruvian llama, which Pizarro called little camels.
Oh, that's cute.
I know, he's so smart.
It's funny. Pizarro thought the llamas were little camels, and the Incans
camels.
thought that the horses were big llamas.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
Llamas, bro.
Yeah, llamas all over the
Llama
place.
shirt.
Llama shirt.
Cusco.
Cusco.
Gets turned into... Anyway. Go ahead.
So then he gathered his men
I'm
for
going
a
to tell
journey
you some facts.
back to Panama to gather provisions and more men to essentially go back to Peru and to do with it what he wanted. On his way out, he was given 2 Peruvian boys to learn Spanish, while he left 2 Spaniards to learn Peruvian. Filipio became Pizarro's equivalent to La Malinche of Cortez.
Yeah. La Malinche.
La Malinche.
Malinche. I said that shit randomly the other day, and Grant was like, "Why did you just say that?" I was like, "I was on the head." It's like, "Where's that?" Oh, I know where that's from. Yeah, the podcast that we do together, bro.
Yeah, right.
La
weekend.
Malinche.
The mother of Mexico.
Yeah.
Nah.
On return to Panama, the governor declined his request, so he decided to take gold, silver, llamas, natives, and a few other supplies to go back to Spain to seek help.
So he needed llamas to go back to Spain?
He took some llamas back to Spain with him. The king was impressed by his findings, but
What the hell is this thing?
he left for Italy before he gave an answer.
Tall neck, horse having ass.
Pizarro then went to Queen Isabel, who was way more accepting in general of these kinds of requests. So she signed the Capitulación de Toledo, which gave Pizarro his request and mayorship of his conquests and 200 leagues around that land.
Yeah, for sure.
Jeez.
So she's just handing
Yeah.
out the same shit she handed out to
Yeah,
Columbus.
he
same shit
dipped
that
out.
She handed out to Cortez.
The king dipped out as well
crazy.
because he had some obligations in Italy. And what Pizarro brought him was enticing, but not endearing. So he just dipped out and he took his shit to Isabel. And she was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Yeah.
He might have been knocking her off, cuz you never know.
He probably laid it in there a couple times.
Yeah, he slid up
in there a couple times. But I'm going to talk about his third expedition.
Oh, the third one, not the third one. Third verse.
So it's 1531. Homeboy lands near Ecuador. He found some gold, silver, and emeralds. So he sent him back to Panama. He also moved with the objective to dock in the same place as last time.
They already know you're gonna be there, bro.
Them Punya natives are there.
Yeah, exactly.
And
They're already hip to the game.
To his surprise, because they accepted him with gifts and things. The first time he showed up, he was not greeted the same way the second time. There were, leagues of warriors there, which is kind of like, wait, what? We showed up and we were like, hey guys, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And
the next time they're like, hey, nah, bro, we can't even fuck with these cats.
Yeah,
bro.
nah, these motherfuckers done gave us smallpox.
Stay strapped and get clapped out here, cats.
But he showed up, and the Punya natives were like, fuck you, and they killed 3 Spanish. That's all they did. That's all they got.
They should just burn all the damn ships.
They should have. They should, where were Molotovs?
Yeah, but
where
was
so I mean they only killed 3 Spanish. Wounded a fair amount.
They wounded a fair amount, but they only killed 3 people out of everybody that he brought, and there are hundreds of thousands of people there. Yeah. So then you guys might know this name, Hernando de Soto.
Oh, de Soto.
Oh, de Soto Cavern. Familiar. Shout out to Alabama, shitty ass.
Yeah.
He showed up with 100 volunteers and 100 horses.
A horse for every man. That's a good start.
They're learning.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
40 without
it's kind of weird. It's
like,
I'm going to show up with 80 men and 40 horses. Where the fuck are you going?
So 40 men going to die instantly.
Yeah, right. Like 40 men died like yesterday, bro. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And once this horse gets tired, it's a wrap for me too. So,
So he showed up, and since the area was no longer safe, they went deeper inland and established San Miguel Piedra, which, I don't know. That's just what they established. But Pizarro left 50 men under the control of Antonio Navarro and proceeded with 200 men and arrived in Zaran. Zaran. Spelled Z-A-R-A-N. Zaran. Anyway. De Soto was dispatched to Peruvian garrison in Caxas. A week later, he came back with an envoy from the Inca and an invitation to meet the Incan ruler.
Oh man! See,
yeah,
this is looking very similar,
right,
to Cortez,
to some Montezuma shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But just to throw out some hot facts about the Inca Empire, it was the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. And the administrative, the political, and military center of the empire was located in the city of
Cusco.
Cusco. No touchy.
Cusco. Bruh. Emperor's New Groove. Please watch it. It's amazing.
Yes.
We should get paid for promoting movies.
We should. And Disney, please. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Because they need it. I mean, obviously.
Yeah,
nobody knows about Disney.
They're down like 85% from last year.
Yeah, Disney as an establishment would totally accept us Southern liberals to promote their
Yeah, for sure.
Disney as a corporation would totally help us. Anyway,
because Walt Disney was not a... Anyway.
Let's slide up out of there.
You guys ever wondered how these 3 dum-dums were able to put up a podcast? Well, how we did it is Anchor.fm. It's been crazy easy. First of all, it's free, and that's been helpful for us because we have no money. No monies. And it doesn't matter to them. They got all these creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. They also distribute the podcast for you. And it can be anywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, like 6 other ones that I've never even heard of, but they're up there. I've never even heard of them, and our podcast is up there already. You could also make money with no minimum listenership. We got no listeners right now, and we've already started making a little bit of money. How cool is that? It's everything you need all in one place to make a podcast. Anchor.fm.
Dude, Walt Disney's a thick subject. We need to cover that at some point.
Yeah, we will.
He's a fuckboy too. Anyway, the Inca civilization arose from the Peruvian highlands sometime in the early 13th century. Last stronghold was conquered by the Spanish in 1572. But one thing that happened there is the Incas lacked the use of wheeled vehicles. They lacked animals to ride. And they lacked animals to draft for, pulling wagons and plows and shit. And the knowledge of iron and steel they had no idea of. And they lacked a system of writing. Despite the supposed handicaps, the Incas were still able to construct one of the greatest imperial states in human history, bro. and the number of people inhabiting Tawatinsu at its peak is uncertain, with estimates ranging between 4 and 37 million.
Not a big gap. Not a big gap at all.
It's like 1 or 3.
I'm pretty
1
sure
or
that
3.
every episode that we've given out numbers, it's been like 9 to 55 billion.
Yeah.
You know, like
And I think it goes to like in the time of the Spanish getting there and then wiping the fucking people out. They didn't have time to really assess how many people were there, and all these people died. You know what I mean? Like most of these people died.
Right.
So
I mean,
4 to 37 million is just a rough estimate of like how far reach they had and how inhabitable the land was.
Right. Sort of like a population
in a mass.
density
Exactly.
sort of guess.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, apparently they kept really great census records that was like under the control of the local chieftains and stuff like that. They would report how many people they have. All the way over to Cusco, and then just a very few people. They had a little bit of a written language, referred to as like Quipus. But very few people knew how to read and write in the Inca Empire. Yeah. And then the second that they came through, they either disintegrated over disuse, or they were just destroyed simply.
Well, see,
by Pizzaro and his dudes.
You mentioned the consensus shit and like them being so politically enhanced or involved. Like for us today, we have like few hundred political people that like kind of run the government. You know, a few hundred. Back then in the Inca land, they had thousands of political people and noble people in their society, to where like to every like 50 people there was a fucking politician. You know what I mean? Like, so their political influence was heavy.
they covered a lot more ground.
Covered a lot more ground. They were way more diplomatic in the area,
and probably a lot more effective that way.
Yeah.
I mean, of course they were.
Well, that's why there was not many fucking uprisings and threats like the Aztecs had or the Mayans had, where like they were brutal to people. So people started uprising and joining with Cortez, like linking up with Columbus. See, fucking Pizarro just had to go in and fucking pretty much meet the rule and kill him. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have a lot of allies because they're so diplomatic. It's like, I mean, like it's fucking crazy. And without them, we don't have the potato, which saves a lot of people's lives later on. But anyway,
Except for you Irish who had a famine. And potatoes don't like you too much.
That was a lack of potatoes.
Okay. All right. Anyway, when the Conquistadors returned to Peru in 1532, I like that right there. Conquistadors returned to Peru in 1532. Hey, bars. A war of secession between the sons of Sapa, Inca, Hayana, Capac,
that's the dad,
and Huascar in Atahualpa.
Those are the sons.
And unrest among newly conquered territories weakened the empire. Perhaps more importantly, smallpox, influenza, typhus, measles had a spread from Central America from our glorious Spanish forefathers. The force led by Pizarro consisted of 168 men, 1 cannon, 27 horses. Okay, 168 men, 27 horses, and 1 cannon.
That's right. 28 of them motherfuckers gonna be all right.
And ported lances, arquebuses, steel armor, and long swords. In contrast, the Inca used weapons made of wood, stone, copper, and bronze, while using an alpaca fiber-based armor. So basically like a thick cloth for their armor. Put them at a significant technological disadvantage. None of the weapons could pierce the Spanish steel armor. In addition, due to the absence of horses in America, the Inca did not develop tactics to fight cavalry. I mean, like, who do you see a fucking dude armored up riding a horse?
Yeah.
I mean, like, shit.
No, they ride llamas.
Big
Duh.
llamas.
Come
big
on
llamas.
now. Where the fuck are we?
Big ass llamas.
Jesus fucking Christ, guys. They rode llamas and they were fucking head to toe with steel.
That's what it is.
Jesus Christ.
Well, the Inca was still effective warriors, being able to successfully fight the Mapuche. Yeah. Mapuche, which would later strategically defeat the Spanish as they expanded further south. Man, I almost slaughtered a few of those words there.
Mapuche sounds like something you left on the rug that you didn't mean to. Mom's mad at me because I made a boom on the rug. I made a Mapuche.
Mapuche sounds like
I Mapuche'd all over your porch.
Mapuche sounds like something you find in Bangkok. Ooh, slide up out of there.
Hey! So, like Justin was saying, they basically had just finished up this massive civil war over leadership, right? So the dad, he passes leadership on to his two sons, dividing the land, and
of course that causes a fucking uprising,
right.
bro. I mean,
so they go after each other's fucking throats, right? Atahualpa,
they said never do business with your family, dog.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He ends up winning, but I mean, you remember how, like fragile America was after the Civil War, so it's just imagine that, and then all of a sudden you've got these
foreigners fucking
alien
raiding
technology that has already gotten all of them very sick with swords and horses and steel and all that bullshit, So again, Pizzaro just got fucking lucky, you know.
Yeah.
Well, he got lucky because of course he had the steel and the armor, but also chemical warfare with the diseases.
Mm-hmm.
So they're weakening them without even
Right.
fighting.
But he
them.
gets there
You know
right
what I'm
after
saying?
this massive civil war, So
After both sides have lost men, so warriors are dead on both sides already.
Exactly.
There's a shortage of warriors,
Right.
probably. Like, it's fucking crazy, bro.
But anyways, Pizzaro and DeSoto went to meet Atahualpa in his camp in something they referred to as the Inca Baths, which sounds pretty cool. I think I'd like to hang out in the Inca Baths, but Pizzaro used his translator boy, Felipio, to discuss his plans, part of which was asking Atahualpa to pay tribute to the Spanish king. His response was, "I will be no man's tributary."
Atahualpa was like, bro, I'm a king of this whole shit here.
I just
Why
won
the fuck
the Civil War.
Yeah.
I got all this land
Chill
is
out.
under my power. Like I'm the fucking shit. You can't tell me what to
You want
do.
me to give up what I just got, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Nah, I'm good.
So this leads to the Battle of Cajamarca the very next day. So Pizarro invited Atahualpa to attend a feast in his honor, and the emperor accepted. Having just won one of the largest battles in Incan history, like I said earlier, with an army of 30,000 men at his disposal, Atahualpa thought he had nothing to fear from the bearded white stranger and his 180 men. Pizarro, however, planned an ambush, setting up his artillery at the square of Cajamarca. On November 16th, Atahualpa arrived at the meeting place with an escort of several thousand men, all apparently unarmed, which is odd.
Smart. A real smart move there, buddy.
Pizarro sent out a priest to exhort the emperor to accept the sovereignty of Christianity and Emperor Charles V. Atahualpa refused, flinging a Bible handed to him to the ground in disgust.
Yeah, it's like, what is this? What is this book?
What is
he's
this
talking about?
crap?
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, we got our own religion, bro. What is
Right.
this book?
So Pizarro immediately ordered an attack. So Bible gets handed to him. He throws the Bible down in disgust, and then just boom.
And then muskets
Right.
just start
Yeah.
going off.
Buckling under an assault by the terrifying
crazy.
Spanish artillery, guns, and cavalry, all of which were alien to the Incas, like I said. Thousands of Incas were slaughtered, including his personal 12-man guard that all fought to the bitter end, even after losing limbs.
The famous
Yeah, bro.
12.
They were literally like holding him up in the fucking in the square or whatever.
Yeah.
In his little throne seat or whatever you
Yeah,
call it.
they're trying to
and
keep
they're
him
literally
protected.
like still holding him and like fighting motherfuckers
Right.
off so he doesn't touch the ground.
losing
and
ar-
Atahualpa's just
limbs
like
along the
"All right,
way."
Yeah. Y'all keep holding me up, bro. Like run that way. Like nigga, just hop up and take off, bro. Like
It is. I don't know. When I was reading about that, made me think about like the Black Knight and Monty Python and the Search for the Holy
Yeah,
Grail.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's-
Bite off your knee.
he just keeps losing limbs, and they keep trying. He keeps trying to
It's a
fight.
mere flesh wound.
You're a loony.
oh good shit.
But anyways, the emperor was eventually captured and kept in what they called the ransom room.
Ransom room. What is that? Like some new version of
The escape game.
The escape game. The escape game.
Yeah, we'll just go with that.
Okay, weird. So Almagra who's back in Panama, he shows up in February with 150 more men and 50 more horses for backup.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having this new group for backup, Pizzaro told Atahualpa to fill a 22 by 17 foot room with gold and 2 rooms of the same size with silver.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a shit ton.
He does it. Atahualpa, pays that
So
debt.
cool, bro. I've been having that. That's in the back pocket, player. Cool.
Yeah.
He made one phone. Well,
He fills
He
2.
made one runner run.
He made one run and run, yeah. But fills 3 rooms with gold and silver. Big rooms, mind you. That's anyways.
Shit, bigger than my room.
Although he did that, he was still convicted of 12 criminal charges, including killing Pizarro's half-brother and plotting against Pizzaro, committing treason against Spain, infidelity, and polygamy.
And we don't know the others.
No.
Well, see, and the
we
thing
can't
about
find
the whole polygamy shit is like, bro, like all these conquistadors have multiple fucking like what are you
Mistresses
what?
and shit. Yeah.
Like, are you serious?
They're just going through just raping
Like,
anybody that'll hold still long enough.
They live like that. Even the
And-
Spanish king was living like that.
I
What are you
know.
talking about? I
It's
mean, like
so
anyway,
hypocritical.
Yeah.
man.
So,
Crazy,
well,
crazy.
That's
hypocritical.
kind of Christianity. Anyway,
So, on August 29th, 1533, the emperor was tied to a stake and offered the choice of being burned alive or strangled by Garrett if he converted to Christianity. In hope of preserving his body from mummification, Atahualpa chose the latter, and an iron collar was tightened around his neck until he died in this creepy-ass chair. I had to look up what a Garrett was.
super
Yeah,
Well,
I know.
man,
Garrett's
to-
fucking super intense.
to get garroted is it's intense, bro. And then apparently after they garroted him, they cut his head off for extra measure.
They did cut his
Just
head
to
off.
be
Which,
extra dicks about it.
yeah, that's such a dick move.
That's right.
'cause-
You know he's dead, like, and he wouldn't be mummified,
Right.
But cut off his head just to even so more defile his body and memory. But anyway,
Apparently De Soto didn't want to do this, and I think Pizarro was like really on the fence about it. But the troops, their unrest, just
Yeah, they push him to it.
basically,
Yeah.
it's same type of shit with Cortez and Montezuma, where like he came back to unrest and just Montezuma just died.
Yeah.
I don't think Cortez really wanted to kill Montezuma.
Yeah, no,
I don't think
Cortez,
Pizarro really
Cortez
wanted
did
to kill
not want to
Atahualpa.
kill Montezuma.
I don't
Yeah.
think Pizarro really wanted to kill Atahualpa because they seen them as like fucking partners in trade. Like they could fucking like basically have espionage.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
funny you say that because the king actually sent a letter back to Pizarro demeaning him for killing Atahualpa.
yeah, because the
Because
trade,
he said
bro.
he was nobility.
Yeah.
You should not kill him.
Exactly. You have a
makes
king ruling a kingdom.
total sense.
And you have another king ruling a kingdom. If they link up, they kind of just rule both kingdoms.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
right.
And the trade could be so fucking thick, immense. You know what I'm saying? Like, but
I know.
history's a bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
So, on to Cuzco, the actual capital.
Cusco, my guy.
Hey.
Oh, it's a place.
Oh, okay.
Keep
Yeah,
thinking-
it's not just a
keep
movie.
Thinking my homie Cusco, man. David Spade.
Think about Cuscotopia. Maybe that'll help you.
Oh yeah, my vacation home.
Yeah.
So don't
Water
care.
slide. Don't care. Where am I going to go with all this?
Almagro and his Spanish horde, accompanied by one of the Incan leading generals, who, by the way, was eventually burned at the stake as well.
Oh,
Once they
yeah.
got what they needed out of him,
Mistake, Jesus.
burned him at the stake. They ultimately sealed the fate of the Inca and completed their conquest of Peru by entering Cusco on November 15th, 1533, almost a year to the day of the big battle that took Atahualpa out, basically, or got him captured at least.
Exactly.
Pizarro was so impressed with Cusco that he wrote the king, "This city is best in the Indies and would rival something in Spain," which just shows how fucking conceited they were. But
Of course.
yeah. So they take out one of the largest empires that was 4 to 37 million people.
And some of the most beautiful structures as well.
Oh, yeah, for
Mount,
sure.
Machu Picchu out there. Looking like, bro, like that shit is marveled
Yeah.
to this day.
I mean,
like,
Kind of like the Aztec Empire, they had pyramids, they had
Unfathomable
aqueducts, they
feats,
had,
bro.
these crazy,
Exactly.
beautiful systems and structures put into place.
it's crazy. And they figured out how to grow all that food that high in the goddamn sky. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
it's
to think
pretty
about.
wild,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Yeah, but man.
So I'm going to talk about the death of Pizzaro.
Okay. All right. Slide up in there then, Cal.
So there were about 20 guards that showed up with Diego de Almagra II. They were pretty pissed off at Pizzaro, of course,
yeah.
with everything he has done towards the Almagros. They showed up and assassinated him.
Yeah, because I meant to mention earlier, Almagro, his homie in arms from the basically day two.
From the jump
pretty
off.
much,
Yeah.
you know.
A1 since day 2.
Yeah. He gets executed after being defeated in the Battle of Las Salinas in 1538. Pizarro takes all of his land, leaving his son holding the name Diego, but referred to as El Mozo, bankrupt and homeless.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He had nothing.
Nothing.
So he shows up with 20 dudes pissed the fuck off.
Yeah, nothing but the plot to go kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's what they did. And they, but whilst killing him, and he's about anywhere from 62 to 70.
Yeah, because
Here goes those
born.
numbers up in the air
Yeah,
again.
it's around 70 most of the stories think.
But around 70, no earlier than 62. So he's being stabbed, and while he's being stabbed,
It's from the throat, man. He got cut in the throat.
yeah,
And started like drawing a cross on the ground with the
he
blood
starts
from the
drawing a cross on the ground, pleading for Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christus.
Jesus Cristo.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
Jesus, please help me.
I will
Jesus Christ,
say,
help me.
The thing to me,
Mind you, though, while he's putting on his armor, trying to he got word that they're coming.
Yeah.
he took out like 3 dudes, bro.
Yeah, and
before he got
his brothers were his brothers were helping him as well.
Yeah,
At least one of his brothers, who was killed.
I mean, he's a fuck boy. I don't like him at all, but he went out like a damn gangster.
the thing that's crazy to me is that we've seen all these documentaries about like a shitload on Columbus, obviously, and there's a lot on Cortez too.
Yeah.
But to me,
Pizarro's not.
they
this is
really
forgotten. Like
they missed the boat so hard with Pizarro.
I've never heard of Pizzaro until we started
because this last like death scene, that would be such a perfect reenactment for a documentary.
It'd be a great, it'd be a great movie, bro. Like, I get stabbed in the throat and just take the blood from my neck and fucking like draw a cross on the ground in your room.
Cristo.
Well, and then they
Or
put
he's getting stabbed in the back repeatedly.
Well,
with
and then they
swords.
put
And then
his,
you just fade
they
to
put
black.
his remains. They just
Excellent.
laid his remains into a cathedral. They just like for
he has,
people
he
to
has
come
a
by.
beautiful fucking tomb thing.
Oh,
in
no,
the
it's
cathedral.
insane.
It's wild. Got like a lion on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 angels on the side of it. It's like golden fucking leaf and shit. Like it's
Well,
wild.
after they laid his body, if you will, in different pieces in this
'cause
cathedral,
they cut his head off.
They
and
cut
buried
his head,
Yeah.
and they put it under the cathedral,
Yeah.
which is pretty interesting.
It's wild.
I think it's kind of a fuck you.
Yeah, I
Pretty
do
strong
too.
one. You know?
Yeah.
It's the same shit that they did to Atahualpa. Though. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of one of those like, yeah, you did this to him, so we'll do it to you too. Fuck you.
Yeah, but in 1892, in preparation for the anniversary of Columbus's discovery of Americas,
Columbus is fucking
which is not true.
backwards exploration.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right. Yeah,
discovery of America. My ass. He didn't even touch America.
Yeah, they
A body believed, to be Pizzaro was exhumed and put on a display in a glass coffin.
1800s was lit, homie. I wouldn't dig up the homie and put him in the museum, bro. Glass case, dog.
But in
1800s was something else.
But in 1977, men working in the cathedral's foundation discovered a lead box in a sealed niche, which bore the inscription, "Here is the head of Don Francisco Pizzaro de Marquez." Don Francisco Pizzaro, who discovered Peru and presented it to the crown of Castile. So apparently these dudes found, and it was actually exhumed and, relayed back to be his actual remains.
Yeah. And that's when he got that big shrine thing we were talking
Right,
about earlier.
right,
When they actually
yeah.
found his real body. Yeah.
Yeah.
but the body in the glass case that had been displayed for nearly a century was the wrong body.
Yeah.
Wrong body.
Yeah. It had been the wrong body the entire time.
Yeah.
Bunch of idiots.
Yeah. Dum-dums.
Fucking wild.
So, with all this said and done, Pizzaro destroyed the Inca state and other local cultures in just 10 years.
They completely destroyed it.
Just 10 years.
Yeah.
Like 10,
and they had
like
so
a
much
decade.
knowledge. They had so much knowledge that they could not share because of this. And the same thing with the Mayans and the Aztecs. But the Incas, I mean, like I said, Machu Picchu, bro. Like
Machu Picchu, yeah.
yeah, I mean, the way that they were, the irrigation systems, the way they built that fucking place too, they knew, but they could not share that knowledge. They couldn't pass that knowledge down because they got fucking annihilated, fucking genocide,
Right.
pretty much. And it's fucking like that's what fucks me up the most about the Egyptians, the fucking Mayans, the Incas, the Aztecs is like
They're all the same people.
well, they're all the same people for
They
sure.
all had knowledge.
Because all the Mayans, Aztecs, and Incas were Africans from the fucking first civilization.
for
but
sure,
We'll get
for
there.
sure.
We'll get there next episode.
Yeah.
But the knowledge that was passed down, that was the power that the Egyptians had, was passing down knowledge through written script. And the Incas and the Mayans and Aztecs were passing that down through visual explanations and group talks and shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
It's primarily by rote.
Exactly.
So like it's verbally passed down in
Exactly.
stories and things
exactly.
like that.
And for them to get annihilated the way they did, or to get
Annihilated is good.
yeah, annihilated is pretty much the wrap up. That knowledge died then,
Right.
and it's just now just mystery. You
Oh,
know
yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
that's what it fucks me up the most, because like they had this knowledge, bro. Like this knowledge that could probably help us understand life,
Which is kind of fucked up.
structures,
too.
fucking irrigation, all this shit we could know more about already.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
they essentially took away.
They knew more than us
The-
right now, probably.
They,
You know what I'm saying?
The Spaniards came in and took away polytheism and enacted monotheism.
Yeah.
They took away the polytheistic gods that were there for the Inca, the Maya, the Aztecs, and put in Christianity.
Yeah.
So essentially, and because all the Spaniards that stayed were still there, everyone else left was labeled serfs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they were just put down at the bottom of the totem pole, if you will.
Yeah.
You know,
Facts.
they were just, they were serfs. They weren't worth the time or the attention.
Yeah, sounds like a little 3/5 situation. We'll get
Yeah.
there next episode. But also, before we wrap this up, Pizzaro, an idiot, literally illiterate. Nice. Literally illiterate pig farmer cattleman that just lucked up to fucking annihilate a whole people. Also, sprinkle on a little pedophilic.
Oh yeah, I
vibes,
forgot
too.
about this fact.
Yeah, because Atahualpa had this 9-year-old,
10-year-old
bride.
Yeah.
And upon Atahualpa's execution,
Which is not cool, but-
not cool at all.
Yeah.
Pizarro snatched her up and
He moved her to Cuzco.
Yeah,
By this point, she was about 13.
Mm-hmm.
And by 16, she had 2 of Pizarro's children, Francisco and Juan. So he was getting it in there young.
Gross.
Very nasty, gross.
super fucked up. And that's something that we can save for Columbus and Pizarro,
Mm-hmm.
and probably Cortez too.
Probably.
Honestly, because Columbus was impregnating the Taíno.
Mhm.
Taíno
Yeah, Taínos.
girls at like 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
They were like, these cats were the real savages, claiming that these peaceful motherfuckers were savages. You know what I mean? Like, and
100%.
to just wrap up the Conquest-A-Door series 3-piece that we did, all 3 of these people are fuck boys.
Yeah, terrible.
Savages, unruly, terrible fucking people that I wish never
But
fucking existed.
Essentially, though, unfortunately, we have been taught in our textbooks that these people are held above.
yeah, that they discovered and they made life better for everybody. that they
Right. Well,
encountered.
where they're
And they brought
the textbooks.
Christianity.
The
Yeah,
they brought
textbooks
Christianity to
essentially
save these savages.
they
that
revere
don't have
him.
anything to believe in.
they revere him for imposing Catholicism and creating a privileged class of mainly Spanish descent.
Gross.
That's fucking stupid.
But the Spaniards were rabid back then, bro.
Yeah.
They were back in those days.
I mean, and it's just the
hell, they owned like half of fucking America.
yeah. I mean, the genocide of all these peoples is obviously absolutely atrocious. But like you were talking about earlier, the fact that their history and culture and how they built cities and cultivated land and all that stuff died with them. And so now we're going back through, archaeologists are going through and they're like, holy shit, how would they have had this technology?
Oh,
and
how would they
everything?
do it? Well, if you didn't kill them all,
It got to the
we
point
might could know that.
Where, a really
if
popular...
you would have had somebody just write down their history
Right.
rather than just annihilate them on sight.
Well, they didn't feel like they had to write down their history because there was no need to.
Because they were just savages. And what fucks me up the most is them thinking that they're so savage, but then coming to these kingdoms. Like Texcoco, bro. It's a floating fucking kingdom on islands.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Mount Machu Picchu is fucking floating in the clouds on mountain in the mountaintops.
Yeah,
right?
for
You feel me?
sure.
Like all these wild ass structures and shit, and they still thought these people were savages.
Yeah.
How the fuck? You know what I mean?
Well, see, that I
It's
think
crazy,
is
bro.
just
It's crazy.
the way that history is rewritten by the victor, in the sense that all three of these guys, well, in Pizarro's case, I think he had somebody write it down for him.
Yeah,
because he
Cortez.
couldn't read
He's
or write.
fucking illiterate.
But Columbus,
Dumbass.
Cortez, and Pizarro all have documentation of being like, this is one of the most incredible, beautiful things I've ever seen.
Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna
Kill 'em
destroy
all.
it.
Yeah.
And kill them all.
Well,
they literally
what's weird is that
tore it
the only person
melted it
out
down.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
all three of these guys that didn't have the mindset of the only person that did have the mindset of just like fuck it was Columbus.
Oh yeah,
Pizarro and Cortez
Columbus was the
were
fuck boy.
actually fucking scared.
That's true. They were.
They
They
just
They did
reacted.
not want to.
They
mess
reacted
with the
to
hierarchy.
their people, bro. They reacted to their soldiers that were in unrest. Because Cortez did not want to kill Montezuma for real. Honestly,
No.
he came back to that situation.
They
and
became
was like, Fuck
friends.
it, we gotta kill him. And then Pizarro didn't really want to kill Atahualpa, but shit, the people want him dead. I gotta do it in order to get my rule, in order to get my power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
At the end of the day, they're all selfish, dumbass bastards that I wish never existed. This world would be probably better and more inclined, and not just a bunch of zombies walking around looking at cell phones.
Right.
But anyway, I think this is a wrap up. What we're looking at, like an hour right now.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to do that.
Yeah.
We don't want to take you away from your life for too long.
Let's hit a little bit of a sign off.
Hit a little bit of a sign off. Oh shit. Well, I am Justin Hammonds. I'm saying, live life, because it's worth living, y'all. No doubt.
I'm Drew Shelnut. Bye.
And I'm Grant Bramlett. Everybody out there, I never liked you. I always loved you. And I mean that. I think it's really important that we try our best to acknowledge and appreciate the differences in the people around you, and know that sharing that love between another is probably the only way that we can move forward in the way that things are right now.
Yeah, for sure.
To go ahead and give a shout out to my family. For you who don't know, I lost 3 people in my family in a matter of 48 hours a few weeks ago. And, one thing my uncle's been saying, my cousin's been saying a lot, it's like, give people your flowers, give people their flowers while they're still here. You know what I'm saying? Like, show the love that you have for somebody while they're still fucking here, because you never know when that day is coming. You never know when they're not going to be there anymore. You never know when you can't just text them when you want to. And those moments that you have with them, when you lose someone, the moments that you have with them are memories that's going to stay with you forever. But also take that same emotion and vibe and create more memories with people that are going to stay with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Just like I said again, love life, because it's worth living, man. I swear to God, it's worth living.
Don't be like Columbus
But yeah,
or
and
Cortez or
Yeah.
Pizarro.
yeah, right. And also shout out to my mom, Sylvia Watkins. She is beating COVID right now. She's feeling a lot better. She's over the COVID. So I love you, moms, if you're listening. Yeah, man, give people their fucking flowers while they're here, man. Don't wait until you can't fucking talk to them no more. I swear, man, it's real. But this has been episode 9 of Friends, Facts, and I said facts. This has been episode 9. I was emotional, bro. I had that little frog in my throat. I got emotional for a second.
It's all good.
It's been episode 9 on Francisco Pizzaro of Friends, Facts, and Fiction Podcast. And this is Friends, Facts, and Fiction Podcast. We out.
Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode. Find us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on everything Friends, Facts, and Fiction. Our Instagram handle is friends_facts_fiction. As always, please reach out to us. You can send any of your questions, praise, and fact-checking to friends.facts.fiction@gmail.com. It's important to us to only propagate the truth, and we will correct any errors we may have made. This has been a production of Friends, Facts, and Fiction.